Hey everybody, welcome to another Monday Review. Today we're going to be checking out the JPC 2.0. Oh man, okay. I'm gonna let you know now. It's gonna be a long video, but I think you're gonna get a lot out of it if you are new to the 2.0 or you just got a 2.0 and you're trying to put it together. I have ripped the 2.0 completely apart so I can talk about all the individual components, and I can put it together on camera as we talk about it and as we go forward, so you can see how it's done and also what I like and don't like about it. Big thanks to my buddy Maelstrom Airsoft for letting me borrow this to check out and review. I have experience with mediums through my kids. I have always been kind of on the JPC series, but after having this large and kind of goofing around with it, I like it. So first things first, when you get it, it's going to be completely exploded like this. You are going to get a manual though. I do recommend you look at it and read it. Manual's helpful. Now, like I said, I've reviewed a couple JPCs before, replicas, and there were some things on them I didn't know what they were. I didn't understand what they were for. And one of those things was these little guys right here. Now, I'm not going to lie, I didn't go out of my way to look them up, but by looking at the manual that came with his plate carrier, I actually saw what those are for. Right there. They're for running side plate pockets with the single strand cummerbund that does come with this as well. So you learned something new. So definitely don't throw away your manual. And speaking of the single strand, this is it right here. It is literally just two pieces of solution dyed webbing. You would run them through these little tri-glides right here. It's a pull forward system. And then you could run just this as a quote unquote cummerbund. And I guess for a more low visibility setup. I don't know. I don't really like it. I wouldn't do it. If you have a plate carrier and you're like, I didn't get those. Yeah, you probably did. If you haven't opened up your admin pocket, that's actually on your front plate bag, and it's right here. So this is the admin pouch. It's a Velcro pouch. If you don't know it's there, now you do. And that's where they will be. They'll be inside of here. Now, let's talk about the admin pouch. So it does come with an admin pocket that goes all the way down to right here. My hand is in there, wiggling the plate bag. Fairly deep. It is definitely deep enough to get a Write in the Rain notepad in. For depth, I got a whiz wheel right here that drops in plenty deep. You have a single piece of elastic webbing in here, 1 inch right there. It's 3 cell, and that's for just kind of holding on to random stuff that you need to stick in there and just keep control of. AXL Advance does make a nice zipper adapter for that. I highly recommend it. If you have one of these, check it out. So the front plate bag. The front plate bag is very nice. It's very clean, very simple. You have a single row of pals right here. It is 6 channel. Then you have these 2 larger pieces right here that allow you to put PTTs or whatever. And then you have 2 4-channel pals sections here that are covered in loop with a single piece of loop there to make a patch field big enough for a 5x3 patch like Old Glory right here. You can also run end-user devices, admin pockets, whatever you want up there. Kind of dealer's choice. You do have a small little gross screen right here. It's black. It says Crye Precision. It's usually a telltale that it is real. That doesn't mean there are repros that have them. I've seen AliExpress JPCs on their site that show this. I've never seen one of the wilds. I don't know if those actually have gross grain or not, but that's usually a quick tell of a faker versus a real one. As you can see, big loop field meant for placards. What's cool, but you're like, oh, but you got this big weird loop thing. How am I going to run a Swift clip, buddy? Well, Crye actually thought of that, and it's kind of cool. So they've got these little tab pieces tucked away right there on both sides. Now, these will allow you to run either a repair buckle for Swift clips or even use G-hooks and G-hook into there and run different types of fronts. My son actually runs a Ferro dope flap on his JPC 2.0 replica, and he utilizes these little portions. He G-hooks in, flaps down, and it's good to go. If you're not going to use those, they do tuck back away cleanly. So that was a nice addition Crye put in. I really like that. Very clean, tucks away, no muss, no fuss. The shoulders are this rubbery, I think it's Hapalon or something similar material. It's a laminate. They're laser cut. The fakes usually have like this weird pseudo pleather material there. It looks the part, but it's not quite the same. It's not as light, it's not as cut resistant, and it's not as nice. Otherwise, the shoulder is just Velcro loop on both sides, and then you've got this bit of 1/2 inch webbing with a little toggle. That is part of your emergency doffing system to get the thing off quick, fast, and in a hurry. And speaking of that, let's go ahead and show that real fast. So This is me actually utilizing the emergency EDOFF system, kind of pointing out all the portions and pulling it away. Pulls away very cleanly and very nicely. While doing it, my son and I both were like, what would that be like with AXL shoulder pads, or a more robust shoulder pad that wasn't just the socks? And we put some AXL advanced shoulder pads on and did the same thing. You see I'm pointing out the shoulder pads, pull away, comes off clean. So if you want to use upgraded shoulder pads, you can. It will still work the same way as intended. Now, your mileage may vary once you start running cables and radios and antennas and stuff, but it should still work more or less. It's actually a very clean system. I used to work in the Navy on the water. Emergency release was the name of the game on all our armor, and this is one of the easiest ones I've ever used. All right, inside of the plate bag, Cordura, Tweave, stretch material. We already talked about these little tabby things right there, and some spacer mesh. It actually goes all the way through, breathes really well. It's nice. It's very padded and comfortable. It's a nice plate bag. So let's get onto the front flaps. So the front flaps are right here, and these are what I call they're the accessory components, stuff that do not come with it. You have to buy separately. So I have my AVS front flap that's pretty salty. This is a triple mag. It goes on. You would Velcro it on, or weave it on and Velcro it on, which we'll show in a second. Looks good on there, and it works really well. The front flap that Maelstrom decided to go with is this one right here. So this is a Molly front flap with 3 mag pouches built into it, 3 cells. They make multiple different AVS front flaps or GMC 2.0 front flaps. Some other companies make them. Onward Research, Unobtainium Gear, I think even T-Rex Arms makes a AVS compatible front flap. So there are a lot of options out there if you want to stick with the AVS attachment. Now, how do you attach your front flap? I'm going to show you. On the back, you have this cross grain, and then you've got this Velcro. It is all hook otherwise, and then you have a button. We'll get into that in a moment. To use this, you have what looks almost like a kangaroo pouch that you would see on like some older style plate carriers for running magazines. But that's not what this is. So this is for securing your flap. Now we're going to do you all the solid of fast forwarding through this process, but I'm going to go ahead and install this flap for you. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now we could leave it like this, but that's lazy. We're not going to be lazy. We're going to do it the right way. So you take these, bring them back up over themselves, secure them like that, and we're going to get to that pocket I talked about. All right, there we go. It's installed, very clean. Now you got the flap on there. It looks almost like it's even sewn on. It's part of the front plate bag. Very clean, Mary. Very nice. While we're on the front plate bag, we're talking about it. These are a couple other items that would be considered extra that you'd have to buy separately. These are radio wings for the JPC. I actually had a pair that came with an AVS I purchased recently, and I was like, oh, I could show them in the review. But that's how they go on. Boom, they're on there. So let's get the front plate bag out of here. Let's talk about the back plate bag. So the rear plate bag right here, pretty much the exact same as the front, except we have zippers made of the same like Hapalon like material as the shoulders. The shoulders are loop and hook, not loop and loop. We have a drag handle, goes down to about right here. I feel like you could use it. I wish it'd gone deeper, but I'm not a Crye developer guy, so they know better than me. They have SOCOM contracts. The back, we have 6 channel, 3 rows. Oh, actually, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 rows of 6 channel, and then the top 3 rows are loop, so you could put identifiers. You can use legacy modeling panels back here, freaking hydration or whatever. Now, you could also use back panels. I have an Ido Gear Repro, but a Crye back panel right here. So this is a fake back panel, real plate carrier, and they are compatible. The zips work. They do what they're supposed to do. I like the zipper back panels. Shaking the camera. I like the zipper back panels quite a bit. They make for changing out your equipment a lot easier. So if you're at an airsoft game or doing real stuff and you need more capability, carry smokes, frags, whatever, plus up your gear, you can put a little pack on. If you just need water, you could run this with just water, or you can get a smaller one. to run just water, kind of like whatever you need. On the back, you also see these 3 slots right here in this laminate, and that is for and these vertical half-inch webbing. That is going to be for your cummerbund. This is the part of the plate carrier I hate the most, but I like it and hate it at the same time. I wish it was Velcro back here instead of this setup, but it is what it is. So to put your cummerbund on, this is your 3-strand cummerbund that does come with the plate carrier. You're going to come through here and here. All right, got it through. Now you'll have 2 pieces of shot cord. It's a big fat shot cord. You're going to weave it. Now, this is how I weave it. Maybe I could be doing it wrong. I don't think I am, but hey, what are you going to do? Now, I know Maelstrom is going to have to change this when he gets it. I think he's definitely he's a little smaller than me, so this probably won't be right out the door for him. Like, hey, you put a plate together, thanks, bro. But whatever. All right, there you go. Shaking the camera. Cummerbund's on. So that's the installation of that. Not terribly difficult. My gripe with it is it's a little involved, and if I needed to quickly change this out, stretch it out, bring it in, whatever, for radios or for wearing a big coat because it's colder, I can't. I have to unweave everything. So just a little bit of pain in the ass. Now, got that done. Let's talk about the shoulders. So the shoulders, I've heard this described as like a sandwich board, old school advertising. Like if you ever seen Die Hard with a Vengeance, Bruce Willis has to go to Harlem with those boards on with like the rope over your shoulders, and it's got like some slurs on there. And Samuel L. Jackson's character comes out and it's like, "What are you doing, man?" And then he just like, "I'm a cop," blah blah blah. Well, that's what I'm talking about. That's a sandwich board. I have a lot of exposition to explain sandwich board, but whatever. So when you put the shoulders together, what you want to ensure and make sure is you have your EDOFF tab set and ready for the shoulder pads. Now I already know where I want my shoulders. I like mine right about here, where right at the beginning of that box stitch. I'm going to kind of line it up. Make sure it's straight. Then you're going to take your shoulders right here. So these are the same tweave that you saw on the inside of the plate bags, also the same tweave they use for like their stretch panels on their pants. Now, if you're curious, I have a fake one here off of my son's SPC, and it's not nearly as nice. It's a little stretchy, but you can see the difference. This has like a texture to it, whereas this one doesn't. And when you're putting these on, you're going to have labels, large, large. One has the Crye stuff on it, the other one doesn't. So the Crye one is going to be on your right side. The other one will be on your left. You always want to make sure you have your EDOFF strap under it. So you're going to set it up through the front of the shoulder right there. We'll take this guy, bring it under, get the kink out of it, and bring it over like that. So you always want to make sure that the fold is inboard towards your neck, so you're not rubbing any Velcro on yourself, because that will suck. And I have done that before like an idiot, not thinking about it when putting a plate carrier together, or shoulder pads. Actually did it during a review. Looked like a real moron. Wasn't paying attention. It was like, oh, this is how this goes. And someone's like, those are backwards. I was like, oh, they are. There we go. And then we will take the cummerbund, open her up. Front flap comes up, and then we'll set this on. Now the radio pockets have some hook on them. That is to integrate with this loop that's in here. Make sure the EDOFF straps are in place. Boom, boom, boom. And we got this button, like I said I'd talk about that. It's going to snap in there. That's going to keep my flap closed during high-speed fancy operations like fast roping or jumping out of a plane or boat, whatever. Not going to worry about an airsoft, but it's there. So now that you have the JPC, it's all together, and it is a nice carrier. I dig it. I like it. There are things out there to add to this and upgrade it, You can add different flaps like we've already talked about, and you can set up with various components that are not Crye or are Crye. It all depends on what you want to do. Now, do I like it? Yes. Do I think it is a plate carrier that airsofters should look into? I really do. I think it's pretty affordable in the grand scheme of things. And also, this plate carrier was made for fast, high-speed operations, doing quick missions, get out there, hit it, get off the X fast, and do what you got to do. Average, everyday airsoft skirmish, that's exactly what you're doing. You're going out, you're running around for a minute, and you're coming back. You don't have to load it down. You can run, you hit right away. You can have radios, magazines, water, all the essentials you need. It's very lightweight. It's very breathable. There's not a lot to it. If you are a responsible, prepared citizen, sure, yeah, it'll work. Especially if you just want something light for bumps around, knocks in the night and bumps around the house. This would be pretty cool. You can have it always just loaded up with your basic essentials, some plates in it, you're good to go. If you're somebody who is preparing for contingencies, and you might think you might be alone and afraid at some point, probably not. You may want to look into something a little more substantial like an AVS, just because it's got more structure, it can hold more weight. But that's neither here nor there. I dig it. I think it's awesome. I appreciate my buddy Maelstrom Airsoft for letting me take a look at this and test it out and mess with it. I'm going to put a link to his YouTube channel in the description below. He does some awesome gaming content, live streaming, and airsoft content. He's a good dude. Check him out. As always, guys, man, get out there, play some airsoft. Thanks for sticking with me through such a long video, but I felt it was worth going through the whole rigmarole, putting it together. LARP smarter, not harder. See you on the field. Peace.